Hey, hey, fun fact, I did play this exact ocarina at a wedding.
Oh,
What
really?
I was trying to play was My Heart Will Go On
Was it
from the
really
Titanic,
bad?
and that's what I played. It wasn't the best.
Whose wedding?
It was an old coworker of mine. Actually, they were both coworkers. They worked together with me.
And they're not in contact with you anymore now,
They are
right?
not. Nope. It was a good wedding
That
though.
that'll. Well, it probably was before you started
It had a
playing. My
real, it
heart
had a
will go
real
on.
abrupt ending
right after you played
right
that.
after I pulled that out of the box. But
Lion in the jungle, lion in the concrete jungle, lion in the jungle, lion in the concrete jungle.
well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Stop the Shit podcast
Stop the shit.
with the incredibly handsome birthday boy, Mr. West, in the building. Throw it up, peg, everybody. Bust it down one time.
I don't know how to do that.
Peg of slow mo. Yeah, he knows how to do all of that. 30 years old, man.
That's what you keep saying to me. So,
Years young, this man over here. Yeah. Yeah.
what a decade it's been.
So we had a little shindig for the man, which I'm sure he'll get into. But one of the things that I remember saying, it stood out to me in the middle of our proper evening.
Egotistical guy over here. One of the
Was.
things I said really stuck out to
Really
me.
stuck out. I'm just always
He's
inspiring
like, I hope it
myself.
stuck out to you.
No, I don't even care if it stuck out to you. I'm just
Let
so
me hear
wrapped
it.
up in it. Was that, 30 years old, making fun of you because you're an old man, but it's like you're just getting started.
Yeah.
We're just getting started. And, but yeah, even after I said it, I was just like, that was some real stuff.
You wrote it down.
Yeah, I was like, save that one for later. We'll bring that up on episode 24 or whatever we're on now.
Yeah, I think. No. Yeah, it might be. Anyways,
Yeah, man, 30 years old.
It's crazy.
Had a
bro.
fun little get together for the guy.
No, that
Shout
was
out.
That was my first surprise party ever.
Shout out to our number one photographer and wifey of this man for putting everything together.
Monty
And,
Love.
It all came together really well. Had a
It's so
dope poker.
funny. Like, I went. My mom was in on it. Montana was in on it, and my mom was like slow dancing with everything. Meaning, like she was taking forever. Like
Oh,
she wanted
yeah.
to do, but I was in no rush. So I was like, all right. Like I didn't put two and two together, but
He's
like
just
we
like,
went to
all right, Ma.
we went to Kohl's and bought something, and then after we bought it, she's like, "Oh, actually, hold on. I want to see. Like, I
The
want to
whole
check out some
time, Monty's
shoes."
just like milk it a little bit
Yeah.
longer.
And like right as I was walking in, like I see everybody right there, and I was like totally taken back by it.
Right.
Um,
And we
But it
learned
was so much fun,
that
man.
Shane has stress incontinence.
what's
He has
that?
you have a little dribble whenever you're
Oh, yeah,
in
peed all
uncomfortable
over
situations. But it was cool. It was cool to all come together under one roof. This man's new roof
My roof.
to celebrate this guy. So
Yeah.
it was cool.
And like I was telling you before the podcast, it was just like I keep getting validation that this move down here was the right move and it was worth it. But just to see everybody and see this like little community that I've built like within myself and my little family,
Right.
it was
In
just
like
that
a year's
validation.
time.
Yeah, man, it was just like it was great to have like every single person there. And it was all these different characters.
Yeah.
Um,
and as great of a time as he had, like a shark, he still ripped us all up in poker
Yeah.
and
And
sent
I
us
should have had a
home
lot more.
empty-handed. Feels
Now
bad,
you
man.
you
Feels bad.
you came away with something.
Yeah. I lost $21 on the evening.
Did you? Oh, you bought back in?
Oh yeah.
Oh, No, yeah, that was a big pot. And, yo, we had 7 people. Like, I haven't had a big poker game like that in a long time, and that
Yeah.
was so much fun.
That was cool.
We got to do that. We got to do that shit again sometime soon. When's your birthday? Fucking December 25th?
Yeah, something like that. Nah, it was good, though. It was good to get together. It was good to meet those guys, too.
Yeah, they're all good people, man. Yeah, you saw Quest got the job.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty dope, man.
Got a new job that he was really hoping to get. Our boy Sam, he's going to be going out to Chicago and
On some new adventures.
chasing after his goals.
Fuck yeah.
It's just cool. Tyree was there, and it's just cool to have everybody. You know, we all have similar. It just seems similar aspects to our characteristics,
Similar values.
to our personalities. Yeah,
Yeah.
similar values. All trying to get it, man. We're all
Oh,
just
yeah,
trying to
bro.
get it.
See you boy over here with that
Trying to
lime green shirt.
Yeah, I was putting a couple holes before I came in.
That's funny. Trying to distract me.
Yeah, that's all it is. I'm trying to get your attention, actually.
That shit probably looks clean on the video.
You
though.
know it does.
What you got? You got something new up there? What the hell is that?
Oh yeah. So I got. I'm not gonna get it down. I'm starting to build my shelf out, man. Starting to have a little something on my side.
Stop the shelf.
It's top the shelf, man. It's a flute of some sort. It's called an ocarina. If anybody out there ever played The Legend of Zelda.
Hey, Ocarina.
And anyway, yeah, it's a little piece of memorabilia to remind me of a time from my childhood.
And like we pointed out before, your first ever YouTube video was a review of one of those, correct? Not that one specifically.
Like the first actual channel that I ever made was revolving around these instruments, ocarinas.
So he's came a long way.
And I've come a long way, yeah, no doubt. But it's also a cool little throwback.
No, yeah, that's really cool, man.
Holla at your boy.
Fast forward, you in the
Hold on, man. Now I do got to get it down for you, man. I got to get it down for you now.
get it down, but that you recorded that in your little shed out back, right?
Yeah.
In that freaking
The shed out back.
Poorly
that had
insulated.
No heater, no AC, just sweating.
from that to boom. You got
Hey.
your logo chilling on the
Hey,
wall.
we're gonna get Peg to throw a little clip right here, real quick. Throw it in there, Peg. Show him like one of my first videos ever.
Fuck yeah. You gotta send that shit to
We'll have it in there. Holla at your boy right there, kid.
That shit is pretty
Holla
cool.
at your boy.
I like the color.
Hold on, I got
It's-
you.
That's them stop the ship colors.
This is gonna
oh,
be
shit.
exactly right. That's
Oh,
why
he's
I'm
about to.
I-
Yo, let's
this
get
ain't
it.
my only one either.
Let's get a drum roll.
Yeah.
Give me the Mr. Crab Eye.
Oh no. It's kind of loud too.
It started off
It's
pretty.
been quite a
pretty good.
while. Fuck it. I was trying to play Titanic.
Well,
Don't
that's
judge me.
about all we got
Melodramatic.
from Stop the Ship over here. We hope you guys are doing good.
Y'all have a good week.
Peace.
Yeah.
Fast forward it. No,
Pretend
that's
that
cool,
never
man. Yeah, we need to keep
This arm's fucking.
we need to keep making these fucking shelves like our own little thing. You know what's annoying a little bit, but it is what it is. They had the
what it is.
longer one of these, and that's the one I wanted, but they only had one.
Okay.
So these were the shorter. It was only like maybe an extra like 5 inches or something, but if it would have came out on this side, it would have
Yeah.
been like perfect.
Yeah.
But that was also before we saw that we had just that extra little bit of room.
Yeah, it's all good, man. I don't remember how to play the damn thing, but it still holds some significance.
Yeah, like it's like I remember I said this once. Tooting your own horn. It's
I
like
just keep
yeah,
circling back to it.
I remember this advice that I gave myself years ago.
Hey, you know. Hey, fun fact. I did play this exact ocarina at a wedding.
Really?
What I was trying to play was My Heart Will Go On.
Was
from
it
the
really
Titanic,
bad?
And that's what I played. It wasn't the best.
Whose wedding?
It was an old coworker of mine. Actually, they were both coworkers. They worked together with me.
And they're not in contact with you anymore now.
They are
right?
not. Nope. It was a good wedding, though.
Well, it probably was before you started
It had a
playing My
real,
Heart
it had a
Will
real
Go On.
abrupt ending.
right after you played
Right
that.
after I pulled that out of the box. But yeah,
That's hilarious.
nah, I was cutting a rug out there with that thing around my neck. Another fun fact: me and Ziggy and Peg, holler at my boy Peg and Ziggy. We were out walking one night back home, pitch black, dude, like 2 a.m. from this playground right down the road. Don't ask what we were doing down there. And we're coming back,
Playing some
and we
blind
all
alien.
got ocarinas around our neck, right? And we got stopped by the cops, and the cops asked us, like, lights in the eyes.
Oh shit!
It was one of the funny moments. Like, we're all pretty tipsy at this point. It's 2 a.m. and Peg, like the light gets shining in Peg's eyes, and he's like, "What are y'all doing out here tonight?" And Peg's like, "I'm 21" or something. Like, he said on his age, and it was a completely irrelevant.
Oh my god!
Not what the cop was asking. It's funny. Me and Zig always talk about
Automatically
that.
suspicious.
They're like, "What the fuck are those things around y'all's necks?"
Obviously, he's drunk.
Yeah, right.
I'm 21. I swear.
Yeah, it was a guilty conscience coming through.
Yeah, for real.
But they asked us what those were around our necks, and
Dude, I don't know why, but sometimes when I get questioned, I feel guilty, even if I'm not guilty. You ever get that?
it's like calling in sick to work, and you're actually sick, but I still feel
Yeah,
guilty
even
for calling in.
like things like that.
Your boss is like,
Yeah, and then I'm like, am I really sick? I'm like, yeah, I'm really fucking sick.
Like, dude, I'm telling you, I'm trying not, like, you sound sick, but you're,
I don't know why that's a thing. Like when I get questioned about something, even if like I didn't do anything, for some reason I think that the person thinks that I did something.
you have a guilty conscience then, man.
It's not good, right?
Well, it's got to be indicative of something deeper.
Oh shit.
What are you guilty about? There's got to be something in those situations, I would think, that's making you feel that way.
It's just like the point of getting like interrogated. I feel like at a
How frequently are you being interrogated in your day
no,
to day?
it's not often, but when it does happen, like you know,
just
if
getting
something were to happen
waterboarded.
at work and they're like, you know, how is this broken or what happened with this? And I could have nothing to do with the situation, but
Bro,
I feel like
swear it wasn't
I feel
me.
like they think I did it.
Gotcha.
Just like that's just a random example, but I don't know what it is.
So now what you're thinking is that everybody, so maybe it's me. I'm thinking I'm making connections here. Maybe it's my fault because I'm hitting you with Mr. Crab Eyes all the
Yo,
time.
for real?
And it's like, are all these people now giving everybody skeptical about?
Thanks
See?
a lot, SpongeBob.
But at least we're getting to the source of these issues.
Yeah, I guess it's like an insecurity of like fucking thinking that like I swear I didn't make it
It's
up.
like,
I swear.
okay. Yeah, whatever you say, buddy.
Oh jeez.
Really gonna miss your new
Slowly unraveling. I saw the comment that it was like one of my Facebook memories where you're like, you remember that one is such a subtle part in Superbad when you're like, you remember that part when he's playing the video games and he like gets killed? He's like, why would they make that if you can't? Why would they even?
Yeah, that's so funny.
That is something that I caught, that you caught as well, like individually. That was
That's
very funny. We got that similar comedic mind.
Those are the things that I like the most in comedies. are
Dude,
those
subtle jokes
subtle
are my
things.
favorite.
Wedding Crashers, when they're all at the table and they're all saying the prayer and the mom's elbow slips off the
Oh,
table.
yeah.
It's one of those one-off things that you just see for a split second, but it's just like, dude, it adds realism to it. It's like her fucking elbow slips off in the middle of the prayer, and it's just funny.
That
It's those
whole
small
movie is
things.
fucking funny. Like even in stand up, like the punchlines are fucking great. I love the punchlines, but I love the thing that he says after he gets the really big laugh to like go back.
Yeah,
To like almost take away from the punchline.
just a little.
Yeah.
it's a little
That
extra.
subtle comedy. That's why anytime I'm watching something funny or like listening to a funny podcast, like even if something's really funny, I'll try not to like overly laugh because I know I'll miss like some of the premise that they're still
Right.
working on.
Right.
Yeah, I love to laugh, bro.
Laughter's the best medicine.
Hell yeah.
Tell that to my patients.
Hey guys, real quick, want to let you guys know
Them Stop the Shit Boys. We have actually finally secured our first sponsor, man. This dope backpack company out of Singapore. That's right, out of Singapore.
MUZMM backpacks.
So what's actually dope about these is they have these versatility backpacks where it's essentially 3-in-1, right?
You got that backpack.
Then I've got a suitcase style where you got a handle here or you got a handle up top. And additionally, whenever you're making gains in the gym, you got the strap on the back. The link is in the description down below. Make sure that you use the coupon code STOP-THE-SHIP at checkout, man.
All one word.
All one word, no spaces in that thing. All proceeds are gonna go back into the podcast. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna get 20% off. I don't know if I said that.
No, yeah, that's big.
Did I say that?
And trust me, people, it's good quality stuff. This is stuff that we transport all our equipment in. I'm on a plane every single week. Hopefully I don't catch that corona.
Very true.
MUZMM, we're gonna put the description down in the bio. It's a product that we're happy to partner with, we believe in. And if you want some of these bags, they got all cool designs. Check it out in the link below.
20% off, Stop the Ship coupon code.
Lion in the concrete jazz. Lion in the jungle. Lion in the concrete jungle.
It's true.
Get my Patch Adams on.
Think about like everything bad you've ever been through in your life. Like for me, laughter has been what's gotten me through that.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking
Making fun of the dark times.
yeah. But do you think
helped
there's a line?
That's subjective.
Well, I mean, you know, a perfect example is your boy Ari Shaffir.
Right.
Like, to him, he's not trying to be vicious to the fucking person and to his family and make his family hurt. He's trying to like draw that comedic line.
So for those of you out there who are unaware at this point, but who knows when this episode is going to get released, so if it's even relevant.
But it happened.
So at this point, it'll have been old news.
Just an example though of like, so is there a line?
But it's
like
also,
if it's personal to you, I think there is no line.
If it's personal to you, there is no.
So
line.
like, you know, I can't make fun of your dead parents, but if you make fun of them, it's okay. Then maybe I'll throw something out.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's just a weird one. Because then it's just like, no, that's just too weird. The fuck are we talking about right now?
But I mean, I'm just saying, like in comedy, like, because like for me, for instance, like, you know, to get over stuff that I've like really dark things that I've had, I've made jokes about my dad or something like that.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like with comedy gets you through those dark moments.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But the big thing with the Ari Shaffir thing, which is it's a curveball thrown in here right now, feels like, is, yeah, like I was saying, it's like it's a time thing. It's a time thing. Like Ari Shaffir comes on there and makes that joke, like, where's the line drawn? You know, whenever Michael Jackson had just passed away, like, dude, he just passed away. And I'm not drawing any kind of comparisons like that, but just that there were controversial things about Michael Jackson's personal life, similar to Kobe, which Ari talked about. Whenever Michael Jackson first died, if somebody came out 2 days afterwards and, like, made some kind of, you know, pedophile joke or something after the man just passed away with his family grieving and all that, of course, there's your line that seems like it's inappropriate. Years down the road, people are making jokes about it still, and people can laugh about it.
No, I think the timing is like a good point. Like, and it's also, like I said, like, is it close to you? Because if it's close to you, you have the reins to open. Like, so Pete Davidson, he's a comedian. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's like out of the Northeast.
The guy with
his
the
dad,
real big lips died in the Trade Center.
Yeah, his dad died in the Trade Center, and like at the roast, he was talking about how his dad died in the World Trade Center, and then he's talking about Kevin Hart, and he's talking about Soul Plane, and he was like, that was the worst experience in my life I've ever had with a plane.
That's funny.
Like, and you know, he can make that joke because it's personal to him, but that's a really dark joke. Like that was probably the worst thing that ever happened in his life, but that gets him through like the darkness of it, you know? And I'm sure in some ways there's like, that's a way of healing. You know, for me, I think it was.
Yeah.
Because you know, if something's like unspoken about or something, like especially a sadness, it's worse.
And it was also, it makes me think also how you were talking about Rashad Evans on Joe Rogan, how you said he's been messing around with DMT or whatever it might
Yeah.
be, and how he had the experience of like there were an endless amount of Joker faces looking at him, and
Yeah.
what he took away from that experience was, you know, not to take yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
It makes me think about the same kind of thing. I forgot
Yeah.
what you were just saying.
No, yeah, like I don't know.
Because
No.
I tied it in.
Something about like how, you know, keeping it to yourself. I don't know.
What were we just talking about?
We were talking about how, you know, he can make that joke because it's personal to him and it's a deep moment, like one of the worst things, but comedy got him through that. You just weren't listening. You were like trying to make your own point.
I'm giving myself advice again.
It's like, the whole time I'm talking, it's just like,
Damn,
good shit, Brad. You
killing.
you
shit.
really killed him with that
That
last
last
one.
piece of advice you gave.
And then you're just waiting for
before
my
Shane
lips.
started talking.
Yeah, you're just waiting for my lips to stop moving. And you're like, all right,
Just out
now
of the
we're
corner
back.
of my eyes, I'm just like,
Like, this guy's a fucking idiot. I'm so glad I'm here keeping this ship afloat.
good Lord have mercy.
No, but my point of the whole thing was that comedy, for me, has always gotten me through dark times. And I've seen
Yeah.
other people, especially comedians, where it does the same.
Yeah, no, it's the same here. Like, one of the big things, and I've talked about it before, growing up was watching Roseanne. That, to me, you know, although it's Hollywood and so it's dramatized, it was like most akin to what it was like for me growing up. Things are just very dysfunctional, and they
Yeah.
make light of
Yeah.
extreme poverty, of, you know, getting pregnant, you know, underage, or just all these different things,
yeah.
commonalities, things that I saw in my life and my family growing up. And there's a dark moments, but they're making light of it. And yeah, it's absolutely been something that's been therapeutic for me. I understand people who who never grew up watching comedy. It's just, we all some people grew up never watching football. I
Yeah,
could be
yeah.
a diehard, you know, Carolina Panthers fan, whatever. They don't care at all because they never grew up watching it. So somebody who's just not in the comedy world at all can't even understand the perspective of
Yeah.
how dark humor like that. This man making fun of his father dying in 9/11.
Yeah,
How that could be therapeutic for him. They couldn't wrap their minds around that. That's
Yeah, yeah.
abnormal.
That
you know?
is.
But not for somebody who grew up watching comedy or had
Yeah.
to use that as an outlet to escape.
And
the reality.
that's a real form of healing rather than bottling it up, never talking about it, and being
100%.
so like taboo. Like, you know, whenever he sees a plane or thinks of a plane, it's this darkness, you know. But that's a way to like take it out of here and give it to the world.
I mean, I dig that, absolutely, but in the same respect, I think about Theo Vaughn and how he talked about his father. His father was like 70 something years old whenever
Yeah.
Theo Vaughn was born. So Theo grew up with that stigma of having a very old man as a
Yeah.
father and looking at him as being a frail person. And how he always made jokes about his father, and it was a way of, now he's presenting reality with these
Yeah,
jokes.
yeah.
Like, my father's always cracking jokes about him, but it was also a form of escapism in the sense that it wasn't therapeutic. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
him avoiding
Yeah.
the issues, as opposed to facing them by using this dark kind of humor. It was a way of him to escape it, and it was something that it seemed, if I recall correctly, that he had
Yeah,
suppressed
yeah.
for a while before
Yeah.
finally seeking counsel. And,
No, yeah, that's a good point.
but so it's interesting. You can go one or two ways.
Yeah.
But the overall point being, getting back to what you were saying, is that, yeah, I mean, comedy can absolutely be used as a therapeutic thing to get through dark trauma.
Yeah, like you know, just one more example, like Kevin Hart, Laugh at My Pain, like that whole special just talking about his dad on drugs and like doing these crazy things, which for like a 9, 10, 11-year-old is like
Yeah.
so abnormal, but like that's the way that, like, you know, he dealt with it, and him going back and being able to write about it.
Yeah.
You know, it strengthened him and his dad's relationship. Sometimes, dude, I've noticed about everything in life, like when you get it out of here, like however you do that, whether it be through a therapist, through friendship, through comedy, through fucking drama, whatever it is, as long as you get it out of here
Yeah.
in some ways, that's the key, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because we make ourselves go crazy about shit that's not even real
Mm-hmm.
most of the time.
Yeah. Most of the time, for sure. We're so complex.
Yeah, dude.
We're just so complex. Our brains are just infinitely complex. And we only know how to deal with it as
In our own way.
in our own way.
And that's why
However
just get it out, because people can help in some ways. And dude,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like the number one person that kept everything in. You know, like
I am too.
Yeah, I know you are. Kept everyone at bay, and like, dude, when you get that shit out, it just simplifies it. You know, like we have almost irrational fears about things. We have irrational emotions about things, but to us they feel normal. This is
Yeah.
what we've always felt. But once you get it out, you're able to have that perspective of like, all right, Shane and Brad are sitting here talking about this. Take yourself outside of Shane.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Shane, maybe how Brad is looking at him, or how somebody who doesn't know us would look at him. And yeah, that is a little crazy to like put two and two together like that,
Right.
And especially, that's why this is so therapeutic, because putting it out there, other people get to see it, and then they relate and can be like, I've had that same exact thing. That's why the key to this is being open and vulnerable, because everybody has these little irrational things. Whether you grew up in a good household, a bad household, anything,
Right.
everything in between. Get it the fuck out of here, however you can.
Yep. Also, why you and I were both so inclined to record music growing up. Use that as an outlet, just to get everything in my mind out.
Yeah.
Just get it out, man. Put it out into the
it's real
ethos.
important. Put it out into the universe.
Like, because it's not something physical, like just to give you an analogy, it's not something physical like you have a fatty tumor or something hanging off of your
there's
arm. It's
you
that
can't hold
weight
it.
bearing you down, right? This is something that's intangible, but all the same, if not even more so, it is still something that can come across as a tangible weight,
Yeah.
a tangible weight on your mind that you got to cut it out, man.
Yeah.
Got to let it go.
Yeah. Dude,
Cut the dead fruit off of the tree, brother, so that the rest can prosper.
letting go is the hardest thing. Like, I think that a lot of people go through, being able to, because we want to hold on to everything. We want to hold on to,
You don't like change?
yeah, we don't like
We
change.
don't want change.
We need to hold on to like control, or like memories, or relationships. Like, if you could like let things go and be okay with the outcome, no matter what, like, that's part of life, because you'll lose everything no matter what.
Yeah, so that's coming to terms with an acceptance that you don't have control.
Yeah,
That's a very hard thing
dude, that's
for humans.
that's so fucking
'Cause
hard.
we
But
need-
there's
we
there's
need
people
control.
that do it.
Oh, for sure. Man, you know what I was thinking about, dude? This is a crazy off the wall thought, but I was thinking, like, we're so bound in our day-to-day lives to our jobs, our responsibilities, everything that we have to do. And
Some of us.
I started thinking about Ashley, and Ashley's currently, my wife is doing the stay-at-home mom thing, so she doesn't necessarily have that I have to get up and go to work kind of thing. She has
Yeah.
to take care of the child. And I was thinking, like, doing something like that, kind of thinking back how people used to live in the olden times, where people lived on farms. It was rural, it was agricultural. You wake up and you have things that you have to do in order to sustain your life and sustain your family. And
a
you
job
did them.
in many ways.
And you did them. And it's a job in many ways, but at the same time, there's something more rudimentary, more simple about waking up. You're in your home with your family. You get your time with your family.
Yeah.
You're doing what you have to do, fixing stuff around the house, raising your crops, feeding your animals.
And you get that validation.
And you're with your family the whole time, I think is a big thing in my mind. So I was thinking, and this is something me and Ziggy have talked about before, but these people who, like Alaskan Frontier, like these different kinds of shows that you watch where people just let it all go, all materialistic possession kind of things, and just go and just live out in the wilderness and build lives for themselves. And obviously, I'm not making light of the fact of how difficult and to obtain that would be.
Oh, but there's parts of that that's envious.
But just the thought that if we get on here on this podcast and have conversations of hope and say that you can do whatever you put your mind to, it's possible. How bad do you want it? If I could say that and truly believe it, and I think in my mind, like the amount of happiness that I could obtain if I were to let everything go and go move out into the wilderness and just purely live with my family and work on sustaining and raising my family, and just the amount of happiness that would bring would be crazy. And then the thought coming back that you can do anything that you fucking want to. How bad do you want to do it?
Yeah.
It's just a thought that has crossed my mind from time to time. I've always kind of grown up, like, I feel like with that. But damn it, I hate humans and I'd rather have my solitude. Like, just, I like my solitude. I've always kind of wanted to live just out in the middle of nowhere and nobody around me. Go outside, just surrounded by nature.
Yeah.
It's just a weird random thought that came to my mind.
I think a lot of people can relate to that. That's why you have to have, life is about a balance, and you have to have all these different things, but you do have to have that, a little bit of that of like I don't give a fuck. Like,
right.
I could give it all away and be happy, start over, like.
To get that perfect balance, what you do is you give it all away to be happy, but you keep some stuff. You move out into the wilderness. You vlog the entire experience.
So you get a little money for that to pay for storage.
You just start your own business. You just start your own channel. It's your own show.
Dude, there's some...
Like Browntown, like that show, or whatever it's actually called, on whatever, Discovery.
Dude, there's this new thing that I've been watching. It's so funny that you said that. There's a new thing I've been watching. It's sped up video of these guys out in the jungle building beautiful homes out of the ground. Like, they'll build these tunnels, and under that tunnel they'll build like a little bed, they'll build like a little coffee table. They'll have like a little pool that they build, and dude, they do it all with like a stick and like a sharp like knife at the end of it. They dig with it. That's and crazy, like right? You could tell they're, I don't know if somebody's like exploiting them, like making money off them, like but there's a lot of these channels, and it's all sped up video where like over 20 days or something like that, they build like these mansion looking things in the ground. Some of them are above ground. They build like these water systems. They get them fresh water. That's crazy. Dude, it's the most interesting thing. I'll sit there for 20 minutes and watch a sped up video over a 20-day period where these people like do exactly what you're saying. And there's something so gratifying in there that I could see why they could go to sleep happy. And like, anything, it's not like now where it's like, shit, I want a pool. I gotta, I gotta have $10,000 and do all this. Like, they could be like, just the thought of, I want a pool. I'm gonna make a pool,
right.
And they have the skills and the trade to do everything that they need. And there's something that I envy about that.
Yeah, I mean, like you see people like Joe Rogan or other hunter activists who talk about the gratification that they get from, actually consuming the food that they themselves caught with their own hands, and imagining even more so the kind of gratification that you would get from building everything that I'm going to send
you one of the videos. It's so interesting. The most interesting part about it is how nice they make it. Yeah. Like, it's something that you would pay people for. They even make like tree houses, and it's all out of like bamboo, and it's so sturdy.
That's awesome.
And then so they have like, their own remedies that create concrete or like solid things that water can't get through. And then they like, they'll just get a bunch of dirt, some water, and like some mixture that they make with leaves and everything, and then it hardens. They make it as their roof, so they don't like, it's all these little things that they've learned over like such a long period of time. It's there's parts of me that is like thinking like, dude, imagine just giving everything up, all this stuff, and learning what really matters.
That's exactly right. What truly matters. Like, imagine waking up,
because none of this stuff really matters.
Exactly. At the end of the day. Yeah. Right. What does matter?
Yeah, and that's what you have to find within yourself. Usually, because what matters, it's what matters to you. It's only what matters to Brad that everyone should do.
And it usually still comes back to the hierarchy of needs. Obviously you need oxygen, you need water and food, these basic necessities. But then also it branches off to your most personal relationships, people closest to you. That's why I kept coming back to the family aspect of things.
No,
but
you're
like
right.
imagine waking up, you're in your own place that you've built. You wake up. This is just me anyway. Out in the woods, right? Out in nature, dude. You just wake up. You step out on your front porch that you built. Take a breath of that fresh air. And what do I have to do today? I have no obligations other than what needs
Get
to
some
be
food.
done.
Yeah.
To keep this life going.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know, man. Just seems like pure joy.
No, that's
Random thoughts.
that's interesting, and I think, like I said, I think a lot of people share that, and so that's what life is about. Is like, yeah, all these things are important, and it's cool, like to accomplish things, and raise up that little ladder and like improve your situation.
Yeah.
But like, you gotta have that I don't give a fuck attitude, and find what it is that makes you happy.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to walk away from something if it's not what makes you happy.
Yeah.
And in small ways, like me doing what I did, like walking away from New Jersey, that's proof of that thing.
True.
And not on the deepest level of like going out in the jungle, but just walking away from something that don't let anything hold you down, like to a certain amount of pay or a certain amount of responsibilities. Like, of course, take care of your responsibilities, but like, there's no end all be all. You could change anything. Like, I love watching MasterChef, and like the one girl, she's like, I made a choice this year to like change my entire life. And, she's doing it. Like, she's on MasterChef. Like, she's just a home cook that like to cook for her family. Like, now who knows, like, how far she's going to go or anything like that. But that's all it takes is that mindset. Same thing we've been talking about my sisters. Like, just that mindset of, like, this year is going to be the year that I make a change for me. And then, a year from now, 2 years from now, she's going to have a job in that career. Not going to be doing the things that she was doing that made her unhappy.
Right.
And it just all comes from a decision.
Yep.
A decision. Because, dude, people who do what makes them unhappy or do stuff that they hate, they're still working hard too. Like, take that same work and put it towards something that you like.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have to work hard no matter what. Even at the shitty jobs, sometimes it's harder, the shitty jobs.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally, to get past that negative shit is fucking difficult.
Yeah, 100%, man. It all starts with the decision. It all starts with the mindset. The mind manifests reality. I keep coming back to it, man. Just saying.
I want you to just touch on, this is something that we've talked about for so long, like making that fucking 2 things list, writing down 2 small goals and accomplishing them at like one at a time. And the importance, and this is something that I have not practiced my whole life, but the importance of writing stuff down, getting it, everything that we're talking about, getting it out of here.
Yeah.
Because you can't organize, like, you can organize shit in your mind a little bit, but there's going to be things that you forget.
Yeah.
And writing things down, making even a small schedule, even if it's just for an hour. Like, and you've started doing that with Nurse Bass, and you've had more productivity in the past month or two than you've had for maybe the whole year before.
So I'll break it down for you real quick. I've had a couple of I've obviously had this re-energized feeling that I need to get back on the grind, get back on my YouTube stuff, on my Nurse Bass channel, and start putting out a bunch of content like I used to. And about 2 years ago, I was of the mindset that that kind of content that I need to put out needs to be educationally based, because historically that's what students need the most of. Nursing school's hard. That's what they need. So now, like, entering into 2020, the thought is, okay, I'm going to get back on the grind, start putting out this educational content. Well, I was in recent conversations with a certain CEO of a business that you guys will end up getting to meet. We've locked that in now. We're going to do a podcast with him probably come to you guys in July or I was talking to him, and we were trying to line up a time to have a conversation. One of the things that he said to me, and it just is what kind of sparked this original idea, he was like, hey, Brad, so I know that you're available like Monday through Thursday. Let me know a couple of 30-minute slots that you have available, and we'll link up. That's what he said to me. And then it got me thinking. It kind of sparked that thought in my mind. Let me know a couple of 30-minute slots that you have available. The way in which this guy must organize his day has to be in some sort of 30-minute increment, something of that nature. And whenever I start thinking about very successful, you think about movies or something, the boss comes out, okay, assistant, what do we got? What's on the schedule today?
Yeah.
And they fucking lay it all out to them. And I'm thinking like, well, this is something, if I want to increase my productivity, increase my efficiency, and basically maximize the amount of work that I can do with the amount of time I have, I need to start breaking it down like that. And so my wife's doing the stay-at-home mom thing. She's been very willing to help me try and get things straight and get more organized. So we're starting to write down things and block down time for me to do things.
In doing that and getting it out of here, putting it down, like it's good that guy said like 30-minute intervals. Like say
Right.
You have so much stuff to do today, all you have is 30 minutes or an hour. If you set aside that time, and that's not hard to do, like in a day, like a half hour, an hour, if you literally dedicate a half hour to something that's productive, you can accomplish a lot in that half hour, and to just give yourself a couple of those a week, all of a sudden you're starting to like work towards something that you didn't even realize.
Right.
Because you can't organize in here.
And then another point also, to zoom back out and take a look at the macro of other things that I've been doing recently, like I said, trying to incorporate diligence and discipline in my life. Like whenever I'm cooking now, I'm cooking my meals most of the time. Whenever I'm done, I'm washing the cutting board, I'm washing the blade, I'm hand drying and making sure that I'm maintaining the integrity of the tool that I'm using. So trying to implement that kind of discipline in my life. Well, now we're correlating it back over to my productivity and efficiency. Let's break down time. Let's break down time slots. And like one of the pushbacks that I could see people giving me if I were to tell you to do that, because I gave the same pushback. I'm a procrastinator at heart. One of the things is I would have to actively work to cultivate that discipline for me to even be like, okay, well, whenever I wake up tomorrow, from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, I'm going to study. From 2 o'clock to 2:30, I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to do this for the next 30 minutes. For me, on my off days, to structure my times in such a way that now my off days feel like work. That would be one of the pushbacks that I could see people giving. But at the same time, again, wrapping back to, if what you really want to do or accomplish is what you say, what you really want to do, then what are you willing to do in order to make it happen? And so, if I want Nurse Bass to keep growing, I want to drop new merch, I want product lines to come out, whatever I want to do, I got to structure out the time. I have to do what's necessary to increase my productivity, get it out of here.
And I think it's just important to start somewhere. Like, it's not like you can change overnight and just like be this fucking machine. Yeah, you have tomorrow off. Set aside 30 minutes to an hour. Write down what it is that you want to do in that 30 minutes to an hour. Maybe you get it done and you do a little bit more. Maybe you don't like do enough. But if you sit down and work on it, everything has a snowball effect. And then all of a sudden you realize 2 months from then, like, yo, look at all that I've done. Like I read a book that's going to help me with this class that I really need to do. Like, instead of procrastinating, leaving it all till the day before the test, or, whatever it is. I just always want to preach the fucking baby steps. Not that if you could change everything overnight and do that, fucking go for that. Don't do the baby steps. But I'm preaching the baby steps for people that are like us in some ways. The
majority of people.
Yeah, and they do procrastinate. And like, the thought of having to accomplish a big goal is overwhelming. And then so it stays in here. That thing starts to trickle down into things that have nothing to do with that. And you have all these other responsibilities and you never make time for that. Get it out. Make those 30-minute time slots. Maybe you have 1 or 2 a day, or fucking 6. and write that shit down. Like, I need to keep doing that. You need to keep doing it. We got to stay consistent.
Because at the end of the day, what are you even blocking that time off for? What's the point of it? Regardless of whatever your ambition or goal is, what is the point of you blocking that time off? What you're doing is you're blocking off time to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So always keep that in the back of your mind as well, that, it's about self-growth. So if you're blocking off time to dedicate towards whatever, that's time that you're investing in your growth.
And then time invested in your growth will bring you to where it is that you want to be and get you away from the unhappy shit that you're surrounded by.
And I'm still working on that too, bro.
Dude, we all are. Like, that's why I always want to get a point in this. Like, we're not being preachy.
Yeah,
we
so
talk about this
so
stuff because this is what we try to practice.
Yeah, and we're actively going through it as well. So that's what's so cool about it also. We get a chance to hang out together right here, staring you in the eyes in this room together.
Fuck yeah.
And talk about things that, that we're just noticing. Things that we're noticing and have experienced in our own journey.
Such a good point.
And as we're continuing,
getting it out of here.
Yeah, getting it
out of here, because we are those. We've been through it.
Yeah.
We still go through it. Let's get it out of here. Get it out of here.
I want to be that missing link for you guys, where it's like I'm getting it out of here, so that you can be like, oh shit, I've always had it in here also, but now somebody else is noticing these things also.
So now your job is to get it out of there. I'm in your ear right now. Get it out of there.
They just turned the podcast off.
Hey, that's one way to do it.
Take the headphones out.
No matter how you got to do it, get it out of there. Get it out of your head. Verbalize it. Put it on paper. No matter what it is. And let's stop the ship.
It's the name of the game, man.
It's the name of the show.
Hope that you guys took a little something away from this. If you did, share it with a friend.
Subscribe to this bitch.
Subscribe, man. A lot of you guys out there watching ain't been subscribing. Yeah.
But it just hit that little button right there.
On those analytics, man. We got our eyes on y'all. Anyway, hope y'all had fun.
It's always a pleasure, everybody.
See y'all next week.
Cheers to the next one. Peace.
Lion in the jungle.